Through science and technology, these local initiatives also contribute to improving disaster preparedness. One innovation is a water management project to lessen flooding. Another focuses on quick emergency response using drone swarms. We now have an exchange with SWIM Research and Development Center Program Leader Orly Valderrama and Project Exceed Leader Ren Anjerome Bedrus. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let me ask both of you, what do you think is the role of science and technology in terms of improving disaster risk governance? Let's start with Orly.
Yeah, the role of science and technology is so primordial because this is where we make decisions in terms of designing our infrastructure and also improving decision support system for our stakeholders.
We go to you, Ren.
For me, science and technology is very important because we could be more prepared for disasters and mitigate their effects if we have better technology. So example for this is investing, for example, in early warning devices so that the people will know beforehand if there's an impending disaster.
Ren, especially your project in Exceed, can you tell us more about that? Kasi gumagamit kayo ng drones eh. Before, you know, akala natin yung drones is just maybe for photography or yung nakikita natin na lights, no? Can you tell us more about your project?
Okay, so because normally kasi when a disaster strikes an area, normally the communication systems, they tend to go down. So what we want to do is when, for example, if these communication systems are down, what we would do is we would deploy multiple drones, and these drones would be the communication channels between different sectors. For example, the fire department, the police stations, and the other LGUs and the hospitals as well. So, yun po.
And then you employ a lot of, kasi di ba parang, like right now, no, with the earthquake, hindi agad na ibalik yung signal for communications. How can this help not only the local government officials, but also the residents?
So actually, we're planning later on down the line, we're planning to create an app that, for example, whenever there's no more or there's a disaster tapos walang communications, then people, if they have their phones with them, pero they're stuck, for example, under the building or inside the building, so they could connect to our drones. Then, yeah.
Let me now go to Orly. Your project SWIM is sort of an integrated water system management for flood control, for irrigation. Can you explain more to us what this can do?
Yes, Ruth. The SWIM program is actually a DOST-supported science-based change project which aims to address water resources problems, and we follow the approach on integrated water resource management for sustainable development. It has 4 components. One is on smart water resources planning and monitoring. Second is on smart flood mitigation and remediation. The third one is on the smart urban water management. And the fourth, very important one, is on agriculture water resources management. And there is this fifth component, which is very, very important, that is on institutionalization, capacity building, and technology transfer. And so you can see that this program that we are implementing here in Cagayan Valley has innovation on technological and institutional aspects. And right now, we have a very active partnership with international agencies like Kyoto University, the Japan Water Agency, the National Taiwan University, and other universities in the ASEAN region on joint R&D, capacity building, and technology transfer. And in fact, through this program, an international organization on climate change adaptation and DRM has been established.
Siguro, Orly, because it's the rainy season and there are a lot of, recently, no, may mga flooding incidents sa iba-ibang lugar. Paki-explain lang paano ito makakatulong na, kasi may mga flood control projects but some are not really working anymore, no? Even, sabi nyo, meron din kayong monitoring sa mga against drought or sa mga river basins, no? Can you tell us how the local communities can benefit from this?
Yeah, alam po ninyo dito sa Cagayan Valley, ang pinakamalaking problema po namin ay yung baha. Ano? For example, what happened in 2020 when there was this successive 5 typhoons, which was highlighted by the Ulysses typhoon. And ang naging problema dyan ay unang-una yung prediction, ano? Ang ating mga kababayan ay they were caught flat-footed, nandiyan na yung baha. So through SNT, unang-una nating ini-establish ay yung forecast. No? So we were able to develop some local models. For example, the ensemble technique to forecast rainfall with a lead of 7 to 10 days. And then after that, from this model, we are able to simulate the flooding, the extent of inundation in the Cagayan Valley region, so that bago pa dumating yung baha, ay alam na ng mga tao na darating yung baha, so they can easily evacuate, or the government can position mga emergency recovery programs and so on. And after that, we are able also to identify yung mga hotspots that we have to establish infrastructures for flood control. That is, of course, that is for the future remediation interventions.
Let me go back to Ren. Ren, like si Orly has been mentioning yung project nila, they're already implementing it sa Cagayan Valley. Kayo, anong status ditong inyong project SWIM also, and
Okay.
and also challenges that you're facing maybe? Project Exceeding.
Okay. So our project is currently an upcoming project pa naman. So it would start on January 2023. And when it comes to the implementation, we are coordinating with our cooperating agency, which is the NRTDC, regarding the specifics of that. So, yan pa.
We're looking forward to that. Siguro si Orly, there are several scientists and engineers like you who have groundbreaking ideas to mitigate the impact of climate change and help our kababayan. So how can the government increase its support for science and technology-centered solutions, and even for local scientists?
Yeah, I agree that the government right now through the OST and other agency has good instrumentalities and funding for SNT to help mitigate the impacts of climate change. But I believe that much support is still required to make a difference in the lives of our kababayans. And for me, as a practicing scientist and engineer in the field of water resources, I feel that there's still an urgent need for increased support, especially for integrated research and development, capacity building program, and technology transfer.
Last question is for Ren. Almost similar siguro, what advice can you give to young scientists out there who also want to make more use of science and technology?
So for me, continue studying. So that's my number one. That's my number one advice. You can keep on studying, and then what I want you to do is I want you to understand what the problems of our countries are, and most importantly, try to find a way to solve it.
Thank you for this disaster preparedness exchange. SWIM Research and Development Center Program Leader Orlando Valderrama and Project Exceed Leader Ren and Jerome Bedrus. And this is The Exchange. We make sense of the facts and figures and the ups and downs of the business cycle, because your business is our business. I'm Ruth Cabal in for Rico Hizon. Thanks for watching CNN Philippines News you can trust. The Philippines, one of the world's most disaster-prone countries, right along a typhoon belt and straddling major tectonic plates, also known as Pacific Ring of Fire. These make storms, landslides, flash floods, and earthquakes common, but always unfortunate incidents. Oh my God! Destroying properties, livelihood, and human lives. The recent 7.1 magnitude quake that hit the north has revived discussions on a bill creating a Department of Disaster Resilience, which the former Congress failed to pass. And science and technology is taking center stage to help our kababayans prepare and recover from calamities. The vision of a disaster-ready and resilient Philippines in our C-Suite Vision.